Welcome to the love and light and joy that is Unity of Lawrence. And in unity, we begin everything with prayer. So let's take a centering breath as we open to the divine in all of us as we listen to this prayer. With full hearts and open minds, we gather today to accept the endless possibilities of peace on earth and peace in our hearts. We acknowledge the existence of pain and injustice in the world, but we also acknowledge limitless love and our limitless being. We welcome our divine inheritance as co-creators. We know that we are already standing in the light of love, of healing, and of transformation, and so it is. Amen. There's an extra exclamation mark for that one because 13 of us were at Unity Village yesterday, and I can feel that energy with us. Yes, what a power. I got goosies. It's a powerful thing. And that was because of prayer chaplain training and learning more about affirmative prayer. So our prayer chaplains are trained to hold sacred space and pray with you. If there's anything in your heart to be held in prayer, please see Holly at the end of the service in our chaplain's office. Our chaplains will also pray for you during the week. Place a purple prayer request in the wooden box outside in the foyer or in the offering basket. All of those prayers are confidential unless you want them otherwise. We invite you to join also in a prayer circle immediately after the service here at the front of the sanctuary for all who want to participate in a group prayer for themselves and this world. You can still meet one-on-one with Holly in the office afterwards. And we picked up, these are so cool, from Unity Village. This is about Silent Unity, the virtual vigil and prayer ministry, and we're going to have copies of those are in the chaplain's office, and we're going to start putting them in our welcome packet for our newcomers, which is my cue to welcome you if you're a newcomer. A special welcome to you today. Thank you so much for joining us, whether you're in the room or on the Zoom. We are excited that you are sharing your energy and time and space with us today. For more information about Unity of Lawrence and the Unity Movement, please pick up a welcome packet that's in the foyer. Now it's time for our opportunities, and doggone it, the next time Francesca's here, we're going to celebrate her for all she's given and done as our previous staff member who took care of the custodial needs of our church, and we are grateful for her. But it's also with excitement that I call forth our new custodian for Unity of Lawrence, Joey. Here's how awesome Joey is. Yesterday was his first day on the job, and it was his birthday. Joey is a valued member of our church and now a valued member of our staff. So please give him extra hugs as you meet and greet each other today. And thank you, Joey. Happy birthday. And you know what? We're kind of getting into a trend here of Holly started us out at the beginning of the month, and here's Joey. And we have not been celebrating each other every month like we could. And so we're going to. Starting next month, the first Sunday of the month, we're going to ask folks to stand if it's a birthday or special celebration. We're just going to love up on each other more because, darn it, we're good at it. Now, you don't have to be called forward for being a staff member. We just like to recognize that we have a stellar bunch of folks that help make this thing work every month, every week, almost every day. So if you would like to join the team, there is a lawn mowing opportunity just for the rest of this season. And the last of the, oh my gosh, it's going to steam you up when you go outside days are over, I'm affirming. So you get the easy end of that. But if you are interested in that staff paid position for the rest of this season, we do have amazing board members who have been stepping up and mowing for us. But it would be lovely to share the wealth of that giving and receiving. So please see Chris Hicks if you have an interest. And if it's just a matter of having a lawnmower, I've got a push mower, I'll donate. It's a push. But that's okay. Alrighty. Well, speaking of finances and how wonderful Pat Phillips is in helming that, we are so close to being able to pay off our mortgage, and she announced that last time. So if you would like to do extra to pay down some of our principal before we refinance at the end of October, any size of gift is welcome. You can either mail that, and if you have a check, make sure you write on the memo that it is for the mortgage. If it's one of the envelopes that's in the seat in front of you, just make sure you label that. This is not a have to, just if you want to. That's how we work. And we do know that it's almost $11,000 a month to run the church. So please don't stop tithing instead of. This is just in addition to. Like this month, I can't do more, but next month, my new paycheck is going to be more. And so next month, I can do more. And so we want you to give responsibly, lovingly, from a place of generosity and prosperity, and we are grateful. Just make sure you indicate that, so we're going to keep tabs on how much we're paying down before we refinance. Thank you. All righty. So I think, our new membership class. We have at least 5 or 6 folks that have signed up already. If you are interested in a fall new member class, then you are welcome to sign up. Reverend Anna is going to lead that. And if you want to deepen your connection or relearn some things, it's another way to revisit too. So just sign up in the clipboard in the foyer. Woo. After today's service, before you go to lunch, swing by. There's some really wonderful things from Joy's closet of collections. But our lunch bunch is going to meet at India Palace on 129 East 10th Street. We hope you'll join us. And then come back next week, where our beloved Kelly Hunt will be bringing us the message, One Heart at a Time. So bring a friend and bring some joy. Now let's rise and sing together, I Am the Place Where God Shows Up.
This thing called life. Am I wise enough to make the right decisions when I'm standing at a fork in the road? Sometimes I wonder and ponder, only to realize I'm not alone. There's nothing I have to do on my own, because I am the place where God lives, moves and breathes and has his being. I am the place where God shows up. I am the place where God lives, moves and breathes and has his being. I am the place where God shows up.
Greet one another with a handshake or a hug.
I am the place where God lives, moves and breathes and has his being. I am the place where God shows up. I am the place where God lives, moves and breathes and has his being. I am the place where God shows up. Will I have enough to do the things I need to do to take care of myself? Will I have the health of mind and body to live a life of grace and wholeness? Sometimes I wonder and ponder, only to realize I'm not alone. There's nothing I have to do on my own. I am the place where God lives, moves and breathes and has his being. I am the place where God shows up. I am the place where God lives, moves and breathes and has his being. I am the place where God shows up. One last time. I am the place where God lives, moves and breathes and has his being. I am the place where God shows up.
And so it is. Wow, y'all show up good. Lovely. And so as we are here, divine and human, in our full selves, let's affirm together unity's founding principle. There is only one presence and one power in the universe and in my life, God, the source of all good. And now our Unity of Lawrence vision statement together. United in divine love and joy, we celebrate a peaceful and abundant world for all. And finally, our Unity of Lawrence mission statement. We are a thriving spiritual community, sharing love, building bridges, and inspiring transformation. And boy, howdy, we brought the right musical guest for that today. Please give a warm welcome to Joy Zimmerman.
Thank you so much for the warm welcome. It's wonderful to be with you today. I'm going to sing a song that maybe if you've heard before or you haven't, I hope you'll sing along with me. We're going to swap out a couple of words, turning, and then healing, and then loving. Let us sing this song for the turning of the world, that we may turn as one. With every voice, with every song, we will move this world along, and our lives will feel the echoes of our turning. With every voice, with every song, we will move this world along. With every voice, with every song, we will move this world along, and our lives will feel the echoes of our turning. Healing. Let us sing this song for the healing of the world, that we may heal as one. With every voice, with every song, we will move this world along, and our lives will feel the echoes of our healing. With every voice, with every song, we will move this world along. With every voice, with every song, we will move this world along, and our lives will feel the echoes of our healing love. Let us sing this song for the loving of the world,
Thank you so much. Always, always a gift to have you here. Thank you. And now, speaking of here, we have our very own Cindy Smarsh, a counseling, coaching, speaking, writing person for over 35 years to support people in their personal and professional transformation. She also has served in various church roles throughout her entire life. Thank you for being on the board. We appreciate you so much for all your leadership and all you do. She believes love is the answer to everything. Please welcome Cindy Smarsh.
Good morning. Good morning, y'all. It's great to see you. It's great to know that some of you are out there with us too. Thank you for that. You know, I'm talking about the power of strength today, and I feel really vulnerable today, actually. I do. But I feel great strength from the love in this room. So thank you for that. Lots of love pouring in this morning. I just feel it, feel it, feel it, feel it, feel it. So thank you for that. So when I started to prepare for today and I was thinking of the power of strength, I was thinking of those weightlifters, you know, those professional weightlifters who lean down and pick up those huge, huge weights, and they stand there and they shake, you know, before they drop them, and their faces like strain, and then those muscles just like protrude out, and I swear their veins are gonna like pop open at any moment. You know what I mean? Can you see them in your minds right now? So we know they're very physically strong, at least, and they may have other kinds of strength, but that's not what we're really talking about today. The power of strength, according to Unity, is many different expressions. It has 3 different levels, just like all the 12 powers do, and it's something that you know, is partially physical strength, but we'll go into how it is mentally strong and a spiritually strong aspect as well. So, according to Unity, if you really embrace the power of strength available to you, then you will reach your full God-given potential. No pressure, of course, to reach your full God-given potential, but it really, this will help you along, in case you're wondering. So, so we're going to talk about those 3 levels. So physical is one level, mental, and spiritual. So the physical aspect of the power of strength is your vitality, it's your endurance, it's your ability to persevere, okay? The mental power of strength is using your mind to be able to decide, to accomplish things, to live a sense of purpose, okay? To follow through and to express your stability of character. And then spiritual strength is the highest expression of the power of strength. And this is our acknowledgement of our oneness with Source. So in general, the power of strength is the ability to endure and to stay the course and persevere. And Unity offers the affirmation, I have the strength to accomplish all that is mine to do. And it emphasizes that the power of strength is not to be forced or difficult. It's meant to be easy. It's meant to be based on trust and to have a relaxed attitude, carrying the belief in divine order along with you. So it's not like the weightlifters who are straining and stressing and tensing up. It's the exact opposite of that in Unity, okay? So to illustrate these levels of this power, I want to use some fables today, some stories today to help us go a little deeper. So the physical power of strength, we'll start there. So the fable is of the oak tree and the reed. Okay? So, imagine the largest oak tree you've ever seen in your life, standing tall, right? Just solid, tall, strong, we might say, right? And next to this particular oak tree are thin reeds that kind of just, sway a little bit all the time, right? They're just very thin, they move easily. Well, in this story, the oak tree mocks the thin reeds and is pretty proud of itself for being so strong. But then one day, a horrible storm comes through, and the winds are strong. And so the tree is very rigid, standing there, trying to keep its strength, trying to keep its spot in the world. But the reeds are next to it, just flowing with the wind, and ultimately bow with great flexibility, working with the wind. And the tree is uprooted from the storm by its roots and falls. So both require strength, right? But the thin reed had a quiet strength of going with the flow, flowing with order, and the tree resisted and ultimately could not survive, staying rigid. This made me think of my brother-in-law, Tom, who I told you a while back had a massive stroke. And he's about 3 months into his recovery now. But when he first experienced this stroke, he was very rigid on the left side. He couldn't move anything, right? He was just stuck there. And he also could not swallow, and he could not talk, okay? And so for the better part of the last 2.5 months or so, he's been in about 6 hours of therapies a day. Physical therapy, occupational therapy, speech therapy, and so forth. And he has found some flexibility. Like he can move his arm now, he can move his knee and his foot a little bit, he can grip his hand a bit, and he, with great effort, can push out words. When he takes a really deep breaths, he can push out whole phrases now. And just last week, he started eating solid food, which is very exciting. But the lesson reminds me a lot of the oak tree and the reed, right? Because when he was rigid, he couldn't do things. But as he built in more strength, he actually got more flexible and is more able to be fully himself. So how physically strong are you? How physically strong do you feel? And where are you on that spectrum of rigidity and flexibility? I hope you'll think about these questions I ask you today. There's more questions. You're like, great. Okay, so now we'll go on to the mental power of strength. And this is the fable of the tiny mouse and the lion, okay? So the lion was taking a nap, relaxed, taking a little snooze, and the mouse scurried across his body and woke him up. Now, this did not please the lion. He became very angry. He did not want to be awakened by anything. And so his instinct, his first thought was, I'm going to crush that mouse, right? But the little mouse begged for mercy and forgiveness and promised to help him should she ever have the chance. And the lion was like, yeah, right, you little thing, you're never going to be able to help me, but okay, all right, I won't do it. I won't crush you. And gave her forgiveness. Well, sometime later, a hunter trapped this lion and had him in a net, and he couldn't get out. But the mouse became aware of this and came along and chewed the rope, and set him free. So, we see mental strength, right, in both of these characters, because the mouse had enough strength in fear to ask for forgiveness, to ask for mercy, and made a promise that she followed through with. And the lion had the strength to not succumb to his anger and to offer grace and mercy to the mouse. And then learned with humility that size doesn't matter in terms of being able to serve one another. Okay, so how mentally strong are you? Do you follow through on your decisions? Do you live from a sense of purpose, or are you just kind of going through life, going through the motions? And do you express a stability of character in your life? So now let's talk about the spiritual power of strength. And this is the story. Are you sick of stories yet? Oh, good. You're hanging in there. Okay. No one's asleep yet? Okay. Just doing a little check. This is the story of the two geese and the tortoise. Okay? So the two geese and the tortoise lived by a lake together. And a drought came and dried up the lake. So they knew they needed to get out of there and go find water elsewhere. And of course, the geese could just pick up and fly away to go find more water. But the tortoise would move very slowly, would have a problem. So the geese decided, hey, tortoise, we've got a great idea. We can get a sturdy stick, and I'll hold one side of the stick, he'll hold the other side of the stick, and if you'll clamp your mouth in the middle, we'll fly and carry you with us wherever we go until we find water. What a great idea, right? And the tortoise was like, wow, okay. That's probably the best offer the tortoise is going to get at this point, right? And so he took it. And so they get the stick. They get on each side of the stick. The tortoise clamps his mouth in the middle. And just before they take flight, one of the geese says, now beware, no matter what happens, don't open your mouth. Right? So they take off. The tortoise is hanging on. The geese are hanging on. They're flying. And they end up flying over the town. And there's people seeing this sight of two geese and this tortoise and this stick. And they're like, what is that? Look at that. They're pointing. They're laughing. They're mocking the situation, or so it seems so to the tortoise. And the tortoise doesn't like this. This stings. This hurts. These words hurt. These actions hurt. And he can't hold it together. So he opens his mouth to snap back, and he falls to his death. So, of course, the moral of the fable is think before you speak, right? Think before you speak. I think we got that, right? And it says, silence is a fence around wisdom, and a foolish word spoken at the wrong time can ruin everything. So as I looked at this from our point of view about spiritual strength, I thought the tortoise forgot who he was and forgot who all those people are, right? Because we're all God, we're all divine love, right? So he wasn't able to keep his peace that he had available inside him, and it literally killed him. Had he been able to use his full capacity of spiritual strength, he would have kept his mouth clamped onto the stick and arrived safely. Have you ever said anything or done anything that you wish you hadn't? Yeah. One person has not. He's in row 4. Right over here. I'm not going to name names. There he is. Congratulations, John. Wow. There's always one in a room. There's always at least one in the room. Um, oh my goodness. Well, I'll tell you, I have done this. And I've done it recently. Just a few weeks ago, I won't go into all the details, but I was witnessing someone close to me do something that concerned me greatly, very greatly. And I talked to that person about it calmly, kindly, and the person didn't take me seriously. And I thought there could be some real consequences from what had gone on. And so I kept pushing the conversation. And this person still didn't take me seriously. I didn't feel heard. I didn't feel listened to. I didn't feel trusted in the moment. And then I emotionally reacted. And I said something very mean. And it just flew out of my mouth. And I didn't mean it, of course. I didn't mean it. But it's caused a problem now. We have this wedge in this relationship. I'm working on repairing that moment where, like the tortoise, I didn't keep my mouth shut. And then I hurt someone that I really love a lot. So that's real life, right? That's real life. Well, in my preparation, I came along a story of a woman named Amy Lochran. And I think her story encompasses all levels of the power of strength. So I wanted to share her story with you today. So Amy was an ICU nurse and a single parent and happened to be suffering from a heart condition called cardiomyopathy. And she needed surgery, but she didn't have insurance. So she had to work her job so many months or something to get the insurance that could cover this procedure. Excuse me. And so she was pushing herself through these 12-hour shifts at the hospital, working with the highest need patients, and then going home and try to raise her two little girls by herself at the same time. So a lot going on there, right? Well, then along comes a new coworker at the hospital, and his name is Charles. And she was to train him. She worked very closely with him, showed him the ropes of everything, how to take care of the patients, where to get the medicine, what to do here, there, how protocol, all that. And so they worked very closely together. And soon he realized, oh, she's not well physically. And then she explained her issues and how she had to get to this work at least this long to be able to have this surgery. And he said, I'll help you. And so he did more of the physical things with the patients during her shifts to help her out as much as he could. And then he even became a friend and went to her home and helped out with the girls. I mean, this guy was a close friend of hers. He really became a source of support, a very close friend that she appreciated a lot. Well, pretty soon, some suspicious deaths started happening at this hospital. One of her patients died, and she didn't really understand why. I mean, this is an ICU unit. I mean, these are serious cases, but it wasn't making sense with the trajectory of the trajectory the patient was on. And then another one happened. And then another one happened. And so things got a little shaky there. And the hospital was concerned, and Amy was concerned, and eventually police even got involved. Well, the hospital, it turns out, started destroying records and looking the other way. But there was some suspicion that Charles her friend that he was administering drugs that were not appropriate for patients, and that he was, eventually, Amy figured out he was poking holes in the IV bags and putting inappropriate medications in them and things. He was doing it randomly, but anyway, she started to catch on to this, but remained his friend, and of course was still on shifts with him and everything else. Well, then the police got involved, and they were trying to figure it out, but the hospital wasn't cooperating, and yada, yada, yada. It's a long story. But the hospital eventually fired him quietly, just sent him on his way. And Amy just wasn't at peace. She was like, I got to figure this out. And so she cooperated with police and decided to set up a meeting with Charles, which was not unusual for them to meet and have a bite to eat or whatever, and she would wear a wire and try to get him to confess. And so they met, and she said, hey, there's a lot of whispering around at the hospital that you might have something to do with what's going on. Is there anything you want to tell me? I don't know what to say. It's so awkward, da-da-da-da-da, and he wouldn't say a word. And so he just got up and left. So she told the police, hey, he's leaving, and he had scrubs on, and he told her he got a new job, and he was heading to the next hospital that day. So she was like, hey, he's headed to, So the police captured him, took him in for questioning, and he wouldn't say a word, not a word. So they brought in Amy, and Amy sat with him and held his hand and lovingly and kindly spoke with him and talked him through things and eventually got him to confess. So he eventually confessed to about 29 murders. But in his 16-year career in 9 different hospitals in that time, they now believe he probably did this to 400 people. I know, it's just, ugh, right? So ultimately, he went to prison. He avoided the death penalty because he became cooperative, but he is not even eligible for parole until 2388. So he's going to stay there. And he's in isolation, I understand, to protect him from other inmates. But what I really want you to think about here is Amy and her power of strength throughout this ordeal. She, first of all, was physically strong in many ways, but we know she was really in trouble physically herself. But she knew she had to keep working. She had to keep pushing through. She was helping people the whole time and raising these kids alone. So, that in itself, and being afraid for her own physical health and future and the future of her girls and everything is that's enormous right there, right? And then she had the mental strength to stay focused and diligent and calm under the extreme pressure of working with this man, knowing that he is quite possibly responsible for these mysterious patient deaths, and having him around her house and her girls and all of that. But she was determined to follow through on her decision to solve this mystery, even though it meant ultimately she was going to lose him and the support that he had given her. And spiritually, she remained faithful that the greater good would come forth. And so she remained helpful and kind and wise. Even with him, she was very kind. She ended up staying in touch with him as well and visited him in prison for a while and wrote him letters and things like that, saying that she wanted to see, if the friendship had been real. She also was trying to understand if she had accidentally administered medications to any of these people, through his actions. And she wanted to understand why he did this. But no satisfying response ever occurred. And eventually he figured out how in depth she was involved in him getting caught, and so he refused to see her anymore. So of course she went through a lot of guilt, a lot of trauma herself, a lot of needed therapy. And also, they say, turn to her spiritual practices to help herself through this. And eventually, she got the surgery, and she's well. And she has left bedside nursing care in hospitals and has become a Reiki master, a hypnotherapist, and a meditation instructor, a medical intuitive, and an energy healer. So, wow, right? And she lives in Florida near her daughters and now grandchildren. So she endured something amazing, horrific. She was involved in one of the most heinous serial killer cases in history. And yet, look at all the beauty that came out the other side of that for her. And a law has been developed too, the Colon Law. His name is Charles Colon. The Colon Law, which now requires hospitals to have different procedures when there's suspicious activity, and to also share employee records when people are changing jobs and so forth. So what can we take from Amy's story today ourselves? How can this mean something to you today? To think about her, think about what she did and how she handled herself and the strength she showed in her life. And what can you take from the oak tree and the reeds, the geese and the tortoise, and the mouse and the lion? Unity teaches that true spiritual strength is not about our human will or forcing our way through life. It is a true strength that's quiet, that comes from our alignment with God. It's a steady pillar of our soul that helps us stand firm in tough times and find love and peace. Strength is a core spiritual faculty. It's not muscle, like the weightlifters use, or stubborn pride, like the oak tree. It's a divine ability that we all have built within us. Power and strength flow from within you. It's already there. And so you can find it when you need it at any time, and you don't have to fight the world. That doesn't mean you're strong if you fight the world. So you can tap into this energy and let it grow through your own prayer and other spiritual practices. And face your daily trials with a calm mind. And speak words with gentleness and kindness. And then trust the inner guidance that's going to give you your next best step. In Joshua chapter 1, verse 9, it says, "Be strong and courageous. Do not be frightened or dismayed, for God is with you wherever you go." So remember, when you develop the power of strength in your lives, you're accessing your full God-given potential, and then you know anything is possible. May we all do this today, is my prayer. Okay, I invite you to get very comfortable. Take a breath or two or three. Whatever you can do to settle your nervous systems right now and calm your bodies. And as you relax, please listen to this meditation from Unity on the power of strength. I feel the strength of God pouring through me, energizing and renewing all areas of my life. If I'm feeling worn out or unable to move ahead with a project or plans, I picture my faculty of strength blessing me with perseverance and stamina. I look for and acknowledge the positive, stable areas in my health, my finances, and my relationships. I affirm I am strong, capable, healthy, and whole. In my quiet times of mindfulness, I am reminded that my inner spiritual strength will see me through no matter what. I bask in that knowing. If obstacles block my path, if outer conditions disturb my peace of mind, I turn within. Remembering my constant connection to Spirit, strength lifts me up. I gain a higher perspective. What appeared to be boulders in my way are in truth stepping stones for me to dance across. I affirm I grow stronger with every experience of life. I am bolstered by my inner strength. And we breathe and we take in the words and let it flow through us with a divine love that fulfills us all. Let this love wash over you and wash away the debris of your life that no longer serves you or anyone, and fill it instead with your power of strength, with your physical, mental, and spiritual strength. You are strong. And I invite you to, in your own time and in your own way, ease back in to the physical room and the experience we're sharing here now. Take a breath. And know that all is well. And so it is.
I wrote this song to remind us of the strength that each of us can call upon, and also the power of community. Anyone could take the wheel, the sea is calm, the coast is clear. Anyone could hold the reins, the road is straight, the way is plain. Easy to stay the course when we're loved the most. What will we do when the sea gets rough? The mast is down, the hull is up. How to steer as waves crash round a tempest storm, no compass found. Where will you stand when darkness falls? The road is thin, will you let me in? Could you be the spark? We persist if the sky comes down, betrayal calls, we're on the ground. What happens next when there's little left? Lives swirl round, we doubt ourselves. Where will you stand when darkness falls? The road is thin, will you let me in? Could you be the spark? Will you bring the light while the world goes dark? Will you rise or choose to seek a braver world where justice speaks? What do you hold when the earth shakes? Will you lend your voice for another's sake? I stand with you when darkness falls. The road is thin, I will let you in. I could be the spark. We could be the spark. Anyone could take the wheel. The sea is calm, the coast is clear. But who will we be before light appears?
Wow, that is amazing. Thank you. Thank you. Such power in words and music, and as we said, community. So as our ushers come forward, this is our time of thanks, and I invite you to join me as we hold our gifts to this community in our hands and love in our hearts. Let's affirm together, divine love through me blesses and multiplies all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. And so it is. And as the love offering is collected, let's join Holly in singing, I've Got the Power.
I've got the power, you've got the power, we've got the power. I've got the power, you've got the power, we got the power. I've got the power, you've got the power, we've got the power. I've got the power to make all my dreams come true. I've got the power, there's nothing I can do. I've got the power to be anything I want. I've got the power inside of me. I've got the power.
And so, as our ushers are forward again, we offer this prayer of gratitude. We are grateful as we bless the flow of good that supports our unity community. We stand in the knowing that the flow of good goes forth, returning again and again, and so it is. Amen. And now let's join hands together as we sing the peace song.